you had opened a bag brand, right?
Yeah.
Trivid.
Yeah.
So what was your thought behind it?
The initial thought was, as pilots, we live out of suitcases. My brain works better when everything's organized, so that extends to the bag as well.
And I think that during your journey as well, you were vegan for some time.
I was vegan for 4.5 years. I think I was my fittest and most lightest. I was at the most amount of peace that I've ever experienced. I was reading this book about detachment and surrender.
The surrender experiment.
The surrender experiment, yes. I decided that I've tried my hand at business and that was the only thing I was doing. I would probably be able to do a better job than I have been doing. I was disappointed at the half-hearted effort, so I decided to surrender, not make it about my ego, and that's why we used vegan leather so that we can tell people that you don't need to kill an animal to have a good bag. Your food choices are different from your fashion choice, so we decided that we'll plant a tree for each bag. So every time a bag was sold, a tree was planted. But it was easy to do from the ground up, and that I did the math. That effectively made us carbon neutral.
But what was so interesting about that book, The Surrender Experiment, that it actually completely changed the way you look at life?
What was so interesting was that it made complete sense. What the hell is one person deciding to do something going to change or going to matter? Like, can you really come up with the best outcome possible in a situation? Not better than like the entire universe. That's what it said.
Like when we talk about ego death, that is something which is mentioned in the most simplest words in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, but it's never a death now because it can always come back.
Experience with reading the Bhagavad Gita, because I know you've read it.
My experience has been that like I've read it, I've read a few pages, they made sense to me, they spoke to me, I would ponder over them on a daily basis as I'm reading it, and then all of a sudden, as the season changes in life, I would stop reading. So it's been like that for me now. I've read everything I think twice. I would say like any form of worship, prayer, or spiritual practice is important for everyone.
So behind the uniform, there's always a human being, and I am usually more intrigued to know what experiences that person has gone through to make him how he is in the uniform and also outside of it. So again, I'm not going to introduce you again, but just to thank you again to be back on this podcast episode part 2.
Yeah.
I want to start off with you had opened a bag brand, correct?
Yeah.
Trivid.
Yeah.
So what was your thought behind it?
The initial thought was that as pilots, we live out of suitcases.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty much your best friend, or it goes with you everywhere you go. And like I said earlier, I like things organized. My brain works better when everything's organized. So that extends to the bag as well. And when I just started flying, I think for the lack of a good enough option out there, and just having a little bit of creativity within me, I decided to try and create my own. So it started like the initial thought was that to create a bag that I can use. That journey led me to like one thing led to another. We sampled a few bags, and uh, before we knew it, we had an entire range of products that were designed for people to travel comfortably. That's where it started. It took many years to evolve into what it eventually did, and I think beyond the point, it started becoming an inward journey than an outward. In that, I mean to say the reasons why it was being done, the way in which it was being done, uh, the contribution or the thought of its contribution to society. All those aspects also started getting added to it. But yeah, that was the initial thought, that let's try to create something that you can't find out there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that resonates with you. I've realized the more I talk to you, the more I realize that you're a person of purpose. Your why needs to be very strong, and since the beginning, that is what has been with you.
Yeah.
Like even with you being the, you when I asked you that, why not just settle for captaincy, you became a line training captain as well. Your purpose was very strong. You wanted to change the direction of how students, or you say, your first officers are getting trained. Similarly with Trivid as well, your main purpose was the fact that you want to make it a vegan leather
Yes,
bag.
correct.
So again, my questions: did something happen that made you realize that vegan? And I think during your journey as well, you were vegan for some time.
I was vegan for 4.5 years.
How did that turn out for you?
It turned out really well.
Okay.
Uh, I think I was my fittest,
Mm-hmm.
um, and most like lightest, even mentally, like in general.
Okay.
I was at the most amount of peace that I've ever experienced after I quit eating meat. There is that element of requiring protein and the health aspect of it, which recently, when I wasn't being able to be that particular with my nutrition, I noticed the effects of that on my health.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the conversation between values and survival came into play, right? So, beyond a point, survival is key.
Yeah.
Only if you are fit and fine can you do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
That's when I resumed again.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I might quit once again in life, but uh, I was introduced to the idea of not making it the center point of your life that you're vegan. Yes, you can stand for those values, but to be in that conversation where you're having to choose between uh, animal welfare and self-preservation, I think that was interesting, and I'm glad I was open to the idea of resuming again,
Correct.
resuming meat again. But yes, I quit meat because I was concerned about animals. It didn't resonate with me to kill another living being for nutrition, and I saw it coming a long way before it actually did. Like for many years, I disagreed with the idea, but I was enjoying the taste, and it was uh, too much of a habit for me. So I decided to continue until that day comes when I will have to quit.
Mm-hmm.
One fine day did arrive, and I felt from within that I think I should quit now. So I did.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that carried forward to Trivid as well. It was interesting how things panned out because I was reading books about spiritualism a lot at that point, and that is probably from where this whole calling came a lot louder. And it promised that your experience will become more deep,
Yeah.
and that actually happened, to be honest. So when I did show that it was a show of faith
Mm-hmm.
in quitting your uh, dietary preference or something that's, I think food is closest to our hearts, right? Like
Yeah.
all of us really enjoy eating, and we're all foodies, and especially the way it is in India, like there's thousands and millions of
Cheesiness.
flavors
Yeah.
available. So I think it almost seemed like I'm being rewarded for that show of faith. Uh, that my journey became extremely deep. I became like extremely intuitive, wherein I could see patterns and the way things were falling into place, or rather, I had that sense of calm to be able to perceive things that way. But when I quit eating meat at that point in time, the business had been stopped for some time because I wasn't able to tend to it. Uh, it just naturally started again. Like I found these two people who were willing to resume the business and
Yeah.
learn all about it. Yeah, the vegan thing. So when I quit, it was almost like I was being rewarded for that show of faith, and Trivid just resumed out of the blue. I didn't see that one coming, and then when it did, we decided that it can't be about money anymore,
Yeah.
right? I was reading this book about detachment and surrender,
The surrender
the
experiment.
surrender experiment. Yes, we spoke of this before,
Yeah.
and I decided that I've tried my hand at business, and if that was the only thing I were doing, I would probably be able to do a better job than I have been doing.
Mm.
I was disappointed at the half-hearted effort or my inability to dedicate enough time to it. So I decided to surrender. That I will not, be greedy anymore or think too much about this. Uh, not make it about my ego.
What you're gaining.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
look, I can fly airplanes and do a business as well. So great am I, like, I decided to stop making it about that stuff if
Yeah.
I was subconsciously doing that. Detach it from my ego and just gauge it by its merit. Uh, that's when I decided that this can't probably go on.
Mm-hmm.
We probably donate our products or do whatever. But the minute I had that thought and I validated that thought is when things turned around for the business also, like from that moment on, because it literally resurrected itself on its
All
own.
of its own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by itself. I literally just had to do the next thing that was required to be done. I wasn't deciding anymore anything. And then it grew into a whole big business, which it never was in the past when I put like thousands of efforts into
Mm-hmm.
becoming a business.
Correct.
Yeah, like it saw great heights and it got its own identity.
It did.
Uh, so when that happened, like when that resurrection was happening, we decided that it can't be about money anymore. There has to be more to it because of the way it's been reborn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's why this idea of using vegan leather came. That hey, yeah, we're selling bags, but do they have to be of good quality? Yes, because we are committed to our customers and we want to put good products out there. Do they have to be at reasonable prices? Yes. So those conversations were easy to have. Does it have to also be a responsible product? That was fortunately a yes as well. Like that's, I'm glad we were able to get till that part of the
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and that's why we used vegan leather so that we can tell people that you don't need to kill an animal to have a good bag.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to, like, your food choices are different from your fashion choices, right? You
That's
can
true.
eat what you want to for because that's survival, self-preservation, nutrition, whatever that is.
Mm.
But when it comes to the products you use, you can very well choose a product
Yeah.
that is not involved in cruelty. So that was a message with the vegan leather. Then having decided that, we did realize that even vegan leather, if synthetically produced, causes a lot of pollution.
Okay.
Okay. Now we felt responsible for it because we were thinking of the fact that if we end up selling a lot of bags, then we'll create a lot of pollution.
Yeah.
Then that
So it's
beats the
not,
whole.
yeah, it's not solving any purpose, right?
Yeah,
One problem, uska solution ढूंढ लिया,
correct.
that's
But you're
creating
creating
another
another
problem.
one.
Yeah.
So that would not be entirely called a responsible business. So we decided that we'll plant a tree for each bag we sell. We
Wow.
found an NGO
Yeah.
who does that for a charge, for a cost, and we tied them up to our system. So every time a bag was sold, a tree was planted. Uh, we would get the location, geolocation of the tree, and it's verifiable and everything. And we fit that into our cost structure, and it was easy to do because our prices were anyway justified and reasonable. They were
Mm-hmm.
not like as high as competition, but it was easy to do from the ground up, and that I did the math that effectively made us carbon neutral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
So there are two terms in this. One is net zero. Net zero is wherein your business is not generating any carbon at all.
Mm-hmm.
Carbon neutral is when you're offsetting the carbon that you generate. Net zero is a lot
Okay.
more ideal,
Mm-hmm.
but that would involve even the use of electric vehicles for delivery and
Mm-hmm.
the entire supply chain
Correct.
being non-carbon emitting. So we didn't have access to that kind of infrastructure. What we could do is what we did. Like we would plant a tree to offset the carbon emission created by each bag. So we did the math. Like one tree in a year offsets the exact amount of carbon that one bag requires to be made, manufactured, and then shipped.
That's a lot of research you put into it.
Little bit, yeah.
That's a lot of review.
So
No, for real.
So then that was great. Like that made it a very, very beautiful idea
Hmm.
that even if this business scales up and becomes big, we will not feel bad about harming the environment. We will feel good about that. We would feel about good about the product being of good quality.
Yeah.
We would feel good about the product being at a good price. So that's what happened. That's what Trivid became, and I think it largely happened because of the premise it started from.
The
Like it
why?
started from the place of surrender. So it took its own identity, and it was a beautiful journey to witness, to be honest.
But like, what was so? Because I've not read it, though you have recommended it to me.
Hmm.
But I have started reading the other book you recommended, which we will come
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
But what was so interesting about that book, The Surrender Experiment, that it actually completely changed the way you look at a lot of things.
What was so interesting? It what was so interesting was that it made complete sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it was so logical that he says in that book that um there's an entire universe at play at work, and it has its own set of rules, whether we know it or not. Quantum physics and um astronomy tells you the details of it. There is so much at work at all times, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. What the hell is one person deciding to do something going to change
Hmm.
or going to matter? Like, uh, can you really come up with the best outcome possible in a situation? Not better than like the entire universe. That's what it said. So he said,
Yeah.
I left everything to the universe and I just decided to trust the process and surrender to it. So anything that came his way, he decided to say yes to it. Uh, One really has to read the book to know exactly what it says,
Mm-hmm.
because what I am saying can be construed into
Yeah, because
different.
you try to apply it for your life.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be taken in many different ways, but the idea is that just stop thinking of outcomes and just do what you can.
Correct.
Yeah. It's That's not the only book that says it. It is probably the book that spoke to me, like because the language was a certain way
Easier.
or it was, a light read.
Correct.
Yeah, but most books say the same thing, that you just trust the process, have faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one and the same thing, and it was so true.
So in a
Uh,
way, you had like an ego death, you might say it.
yeah.
Because I think when you have so much ego is when you think that you can
Hmm.
it is true that you can curate your life, but
Hmm.
I also believe in the fact that it is more about just setting an intention of what you want, and you just sort of leave it to whatever you believe in. It could
Hmm.
be God, it could be universe, ki, okay, this is what I want.
Hmm.
How it's going to happen, who all are going to participate in that process is
Hmm.
all leaving up to you.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the ego also comes in play, where you feel like, okay, you know what, I will decide who is a part of that process. I will decide how
Hmm.
long it should take,
Yeah.
not to take, if I even deserve that to happen. And I
Hmm.
think what you did with your business is that only it was a way of ego death.
Yeah.
Ki, okay, fine, I have come up with this business, even though it has, maybe my name to it or like your
Yeah.
partner's name and everything,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to surrender as to what the course of the business is going to
Yeah.
be. And I think that is what really helped you in that.
It really helped. Yes.
Yeah, but like
Yes.
when we talk about ego death, that is something which is mentioned in the most simplest words in
Yeah.
the Bhagavad Gita as well.
Yeah, but it's never a death now because it can always come back.
It does come back.
Yeah.
That is true, but I think that's the whole beauty of being a
Yeah.
human as well. You cannot be perfect, and that's the reason why you're not God.
Yeah.
And
True.
so, what was your experience with reading the Bhagavad Gita? Because I know you've read it. I'm only
Yeah.
halfway there,
Yeah.
not even halfway there.
I think all of us, I mean, you can physically read the whole thing in a day.
कुछ नहीं समझ आता.
Yes.
You don't
But
understand.
what good will come out of that anyway? Like that book is a guideline or
Hmm.
a set of advices. So my experience has been that like I've read it, I've read a few pages, they
Yeah.
made sense to me, they spoke to me, I would ponder over them on a daily basis as I'm reading it.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, as the season changes in life, I would stop reading.
Yeah.
only to get back at it after some time, after like I've gone ahead and done some shit again. So, so now I'm looking for answers once again. That okay. So then where it's interesting how like where you left it,
Yeah.
and then when you start again, it starts talking to you right from where you left off, and then it all makes sense. It's an intuitive way, but like a lot of people have different experiences with the book. It's quite a wise book to read, I
It's
think.
quite a personal experience,
Yeah,
if you may.
yeah, everyone has their own experience.
Correct.
So it's been like that for me now. I've read everything, I think, twice,
Mm-hmm.
but I might require a few more reads, definitely.
I mean, the experience that I think what happened with me was that I was reading it,
Hmm.
and it's not like I was not understanding it because I know English, right? I can read the words,
Hmm.
but am I actually understanding what it is trying to say? Maybe not.
Yeah.
And I'm taking it just as how I want to take it because of maybe the situation that I am in.
Yeah.
And it so happened that I went to this one particular temple that I go to every week, and I was actually searching for somebody to maybe guide me through the book.
Guide you through
Okay,
the book.
and it was not intentional. I just came out and I saw this one particular person who was from ISKCON, and he was selling the Bhagavad Gita in the temple. I just went up to him just to maybe ask, like, okay, like, can you guide me through it? Like, how do I begin with? Because I can read it, but I'm not understanding one bit. And that's this one thing that he said that really stuck with me was the fact that even in the schools we have the textbooks.
Yeah.
Similarly, we have the Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
but there's a reason why there's a teacher who teaches those textbooks, and that is why we need to have a guru as well who teaches the Bhagavad Gita. It's very important to read such books because I can see that in your personality in general, how you curate a lot of things in your life.
Yeah.
Just like your perspective on a lot of things is
Yeah.
very spiritually imbibed.
So it comes from there.
It comes from there.
Yeah, it's important. Then you're right. Uh, I would say like any form of worship, prayer, or a spiritual practice
Yeah,
is important for everyone
correct.
because none of us know how to live this life.
Yeah,
And just when you think everything is going right, you have something coming for you,
that's true.
right? So when these practices are there, they sort of help you
Yeah,
in times of distress.
correct.
So everyone must have something to go to find wisdom, to find answers. Bhagavad Gita has given me my answers, but for someone else, it could be some other book.
Correct.
Like some people draw wisdom out of watching Star Wars. So be it, like from wherever you get your thing.
Yeah, I think it's just what caters to you at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
But like, do you think? Because that's what I agree. But I don't want to make any what's that word? Not any conclusions out of your life.
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is, do you owe these books
Yeah,
what they are wanting to say
yeah,
for you to come out of this delusion of life?
yeah,
Because I think you're very real with a lot of things.
yeah,
Okay, just because your career demands you to be a specific way,
yeah,
because I think what aviation demands from you is usually to see things black and white.
yeah,
You cannot be looking at into the gray area as much.
yeah,
But I think when you become more spiritual, the more you realize that nothing is black and white.
yeah.
And I think you have a perfect balance of both of it.
Yeah.
So does that come from reading these
It does.
books and
It
like
does.
any other life experience that has happened?
It comes from these books, and I think also the years in aviation, age in aviation,
You're gonna hold
in
this
in
over
life
my head
also,
for a long time.
but age in general in life
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
and life experiences. I think it's yeah, the delusion has to break sometime. Only
Mm-hmm.
for a certain time can Delulu be the Salulu.
Yeah.
But after that,
Thanks for catering to our crowd. Okay,
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then after that, the delusion has to break. You have to accept reality. It hurts, I know, but
It does.
sadly,
I
yeah.
think when you are just starting with a spiritual journey, it's a completely
Mm,
different realm. It almost takes
yeah,
you in, and it is only about having that faith that makes you, continue in that specific realm.
yeah,
So I think you have given us the insights on like why you are the way you are in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Somebody hit me in the head, so I became like this.
No, I think no, you've been
Yeah.
very real with us.
Yeah.
You've been very honest in this podcast,
Yeah.
and I really look forward to guests like you,
Thank you.
who are not just looking at life in a particular way,
One-dimensional way.
very
Right.
one-dimensional. And thank you
Mm.
so much to be. But then, yeah, just to end with this. So, is there anything else that you want to tell our audience? Not aviation, in
Not
life in
aviation.
general, because I think you come from a ground of a lot of wisdom. Being
Thank
very
you.
honest.
It means a lot to be called somebody who holds wisdom, but I think we all make our mistakes and stray from our paths. Lately, what I've learned is that you can always come back, and one must never be harsh on themselves. Um, yeah, like I think there are a lot of people out there who are far more wiser than I am, to be honest. I'm glad about that.
Correct.
But yeah, I think recently what I've learned is that we all stray from our paths, and
Yeah.
it's totally
I think it's
okay.
just important to know
Yeah,
what grounds you and to come to it. And I think just the conscious decision that you make every
yeah,
time that you consciously see that, okay, something is happening.
yeah. And another thing that I've realized, I don't know where this comes from, but sometimes a lot of things that come to you, they are like, I don't know where they come from. They, I think, intuition or what, but uh, any situation that we find ourselves in is tailor made for us,
Okay.
for the past experiences and the tendencies and the habits and our reactions to every situation. So they are tailor made for us, and we are more than adequately equipped to navigate those situations based on what we've learned in our lives. It is just that we need to look inwards
Yeah.
and remember which lesson applies where and just apply it.
Correct.
Otherwise, that situation wouldn't happen to us.
Yeah.
This is what
I
I've
think,
realized
yeah,
recently.
like I have read about this as well, where it's, like a similar situation, similar kind of people would keep on coming into your life until you don't really break the pattern.
Yeah,
And that is very important, and that
yeah,
only happens when you're consciously thinking about everything that you do in life.
yeah.
That also doesn't mean that you're very strict and you make rules, too many rules for yourself. You
Hmm.
obviously have to live your life, but
Hmm.
also to make sure that everything that you do is very intentional and it's
Yeah.
very purpose oriented, which you have done since the start
Tried
of the
my best.
podcast in a very, very long time.
Thank you.
So thank you so much to be on this
Thank
thing.
you, Kushi.
I am very honored. Being very
Likewise.
honest, I'm very honored to have you on this. I've been
Thank
looking
you.
forward to this podcast. Just how I started saying, I have been looking forward. I think the entire team has been, and thank you so much again.
Thank you,
And
Kushi.
thank you. You want to say something in the
Yeah,
end?
it's just that I am also honored to be here, and it's just interesting or fantastic how you asked me these questions, right? Uh, I think everyone carries wisdom, everyone has their stories and experiences, but you seeking out these things and wanting to put them out for your audience is beautiful in itself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think what I've learned is it's a smart thing to learn from other people's experiences.
yeah.
You don't really need to go through that to learn how it should be dealt with. You see somebody else doing it,
Mm.
it might not be the same. Maybe that lesson will never ever come across for you
Mm.
to,
But somebody may,
somebody, huh? Like I
yeah,
think that's a smart way of living life, and
yeah.
that's I think a lot of purpose of mine. Again, talking about purpose,
Mm.
that might intrigue you. To have you on this podcast is just
Thank
to
you.
sort of give people the insight of a lot of things that happen, because on the forefront you come across as somebody who has their shit together, as somebody who has life figured out,
Okay.
who has his career figured out, but there is still so much learning that you do
Mm.
even now, and
Mm.
you're very open about it. You're
Mm.
not कि, nahi abhi to I'm at this stage where I know everything. You don't have that facade in front of you, and that's why I like to
Mm.
have these real conversation with real
Thank you.
people, and we are gonna get more such people for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, we should do that.